Hello, and welcome back to Reading with Luckily. Today we will read a sports essay by Luckily. Out with the old, in with the new. That's what I always say. I am going to Boston Airport. When you find yourself lost, you can always look to planes to guide you. The woods are dangerous, but if you are as tall as planes, danger can't reach your head. Till yesterday, I thought that the taller you were, the better, but yesterday the consequences were great. The skies are clear tonight, and the planes are sparse. The sound of planes is quiet when you're up close, but from afar it is immense. I'm currently typing this deep from the woods of Antigua. I fished yesterday. Run. I caught the fish with my bare hands, and I applied it. Very rarely do you find instances of fish in the wilderness. Daily, I find them. They call me Chuck G. Hunt Jacqueline. My high school buddies hated that nickname. They used to punch me for it. Hard. My last gig as a poet found me in Seattle, catching bugs and getting chased. Poetry tells you the essence of the spirit of your own soul. My soul, turns out, is bad. That's the reason I took up poetry. My nickname stems from my ability to hunt fish. The average healthy adult can hunt 7 bears a day, but I can catch more fish than bears are worth. If that bothers you, get out. After applying the fish, I looked up and a sparse plane appeared. I saw my mother, wrapped in a blanket, sitting on the plane wing, and taunting me. Given my knowledge, I followed the plan. I know planes use airports for homes, and where there is an airport, there is food. Unfortunately, the trail ended. I had to scavenge the trees in order to make my way through the tangle. I soon lost sight of the plane as it raced away from my grasp, so I had to follow the sound of my mother's taunts. I plugged in my hearing aid and got to work. I blacked out. The next day, I woke up with a hangover and 2 boots more than I had yesterday. It's like I always say, gotta lose consciousness to gain foot clothes. With my new boots and a mission, I made my way into the airport. My mother stood disapprovingly at the doorway, helping me to feel sorry for myself. Airpot. My mother gave me a push and I fell to the ground. I said, "Give me a break. I will get you over with." That sounds like a threat. Yee-haw. The mom pulled out her revolver and shot 5 bullets under my feet. "Youch!" I said, starting to dash further away. "And 1 for your head!" she exclaimed and shot at me. I dodged. That's what the gun handbook recommends to do. With no bullets left, my mother posed me no further threat. However, her posse did. As I ran out of the airport, I knew what I had to do. What I had to do was get a job. I need to get a job! If I could save up enough money, I could buy my getaway vehicle. I applied to a job at Starbucks and heard back the next day. The email read, "Hello, Chuck. We were impressed by your resume, but have a few questions. It says here you worked for 16 years as mother's punching bag? We were wondering what that's about. Then you have a 6-year stint as fish poet, and we don't know what that means either. Anyway, we would like you to come in for an interview as one of our finalists. Love you, Clarv." I hopped on my scooter and scooted on down to Starbucks. I saw the dimly lit, all-white waiting room and tried to calm my nerves. I was relieved that the sound of the lights flickering drowned out the incessant clicking of my nails falling off from being chewed. The interviewer called me and one other interviewee in, my mom. "What are you doing here, Mommy?" I asked accusatorily. She just smirked and entered the interviewing room. I stepped into the interviewer room and was immediately blinded by the very bright lights that were shining down on me, so much so that I could not see the crowd, which I could hear clearly as they screamed as I walked in. The interviewer stood, stories up, on the edge of a stadium and announced, "And here comes Chuck, the 6'11" fish poet from San Antonio." As my eyes adjusted to the lights, I looked out and saw a whole baseball stadium, filled with 13 of me and 14 of my mom. One of them yelled at me, "I will stain you!" I walked up to the plate and got ready for a fastball. Strike 1. My mom pitched a changeup for pitch 1 of the game. I stormed the mound and punched her and walked back home. Dearest mother then whomped a 150-mile-per-hour up-curving ball at me that I tried to bunt and barely got a touch off of before it flew up into the sky. "Foul ball, strike 2, said the interviewer. "Chuck is going to have a difficult time recovering from this one if he wants to get employed at this Starbucks." I frowned in and out of determination as I signaled I was ready for the next pitch. I swung hard as my mother swaunched me a fastball down the middle. the ball went right through my racket. The investigators were not happy about that one, and they took us to the back to make us pee in cups. It turned out my mother had been drugging too much. She got suspended for eating too much crack, and I got the job. And that is why I believe sports cheating never pays. Alright, well, that's our story for the day. See you next time on Reading with Luckily.